Welcome back to Croch80hd. I'm your hostess, Jackie. Today's episode is a Chit-Chat Cafe. We chit, we chat, and we crochet. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I am designing a new shawl pattern based on my previous shawl pattern, if that makes sense. So there's some similarities, and I'm not really sure exactly where it's going to go, but I'm just going to kind of let the yarn lead me. And I'm not really sure what it's going to look like when it's done, but I know that it will have the raised, the post stitches that'll give the texture, because I like that. But other than that, I don't know, but we'll just see where this journey takes us. So today I want to kind of talk just a little bit about a couple of few things. But the first thing, I was watching a podcast. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want it to sound like I'm attacking this podcast, but it's a knitting podcast, and they were giving prizes out, and one of the winners, so they were giving out like fingering weight yarns, and it was all part of something that they were doing. And one of the winners was a crocheter. Now, when they were listing all of the other winners for their prizes, they were just like, oh yeah, that'll be good. That's nice. And it could just be coincidental, which is again, another reason why I'm not trying to put this podcast out on blast. But when he found out that the winner was a crocheter, he said, oh, and if you find, or if you can't use that weight of yarn or something along those lines, if you can't use it, then, contact us and we'll swap it out for something. And again, could have been completely coincidental, but at the same time, I'm like, why would you say that? Because again, you don't think that crocheters use fingering weight yarn? I know you crochet, but is it because you can't knit? Do you think people think that? That crocheting is like a booby prize? Nope. Not gonna. We're not doing that. No. In other news, I have created a Ravelry group, which I was excited because I didn't know how to do that. It is called GlamFam. So it is a group for this channel, and I'm hoping to be able to use it for giveaways, and also, as a matter of fact, like to kind of build the foundation for the Sha-la-la-long. I don't know how long that's going to take, and I might just end up compiling a video of, this many. But so far on my list, I have 17 on the list so far. Most of them are paid patterns. The most expensive one is $7.50. A free pattern that has had 0 projects, and it's called the Silverwood Sideways Shawl, and it's made by Truly Crochet. And she's got actually quite a few shawl patterns, and they're all free. But again, not a lot of them. The one that has the most projects only has 38. I'll just try to figure out how we can facilitate this, because I'm really looking forward to it. And it'll be a January, maybe we could do it like January, February time frame. I'm just letting you know kind of things that I'm putting out there and working on or whatever. Speaking of which, I'm just going to pop in a picture right here. This, if you remember, I had that yarn, the yarn from hell, that I just could not stand. I tried to use it, well, I took a skein of this, that I had been gifted by one of my lovely subscribers, Marquita. And this is 70% alpaca and 30% bamboo. Anyway, I took this and I held it with a strand of that other yarn. And oh, wow, what a difference it made. It worked up so fast. And I only used one skein to make this cowl. And I'll link the cowl. It's called the one row. I think it's like the one row cowl. I don't know, just the idea of pairing the two yarns together has just kind of given me a new lease on life, if you will. And maybe I can pair it with some other yarns that would otherwise just be a little... Anyway, but I'm just glad that I figured out a way to use the yarn. And yeah, that was just so exciting. All right, so last week I was watching a live with Yarn Andy and Deanna somebody. The Yarn Andy is, she's a crochet designer who is on the spectrum, and Deanna is a crocheter and a crochet designer also who is an ADHDer. I was so excited just to see another ADHD crocheter. And so I hopped on. Yarn Andy was saying a lot of the things that she designs are shawls, and that's the things that she likes to crochet. And I mean, again, my ears were like, ooh, okay. So she's neurodivergent and she likes to crochet shawls. Okay. So I was like, okay. So I decided to ask a question if there was a direct connection or any kind of connection between people who are neurodivergent, you know, ADHDers, and specifically crocheting shawls. And Deanna had actually said yes, that there is some sort of something to that. I don't remember exactly what she said, and I don't want to misquote or mislead in any way. So I am going to link the, I'm going to if I can figure out how to link the video, I will link the video. If not, I will link you to to their channels so that you can see. But it was, you know, I have learned so much in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, just about myself, that it makes sense. Like things make sense. And, you know, even before I got diagnosed with ADHD, I felt like I was a crazy person all the time, because I would watch people, like something would be explained to someone, right? And they would just get it. And I would struggle and I could not figure out, I'm like, what is happening? And finding out that it's not necessarily a matter of me not paying attention, because the problem is that when you're trying to pay attention, when you're told, hey, pay attention, what happens is your mind is saying, pay attention, so that's all you hear. You don't hear what's being said to you. You hear your brain saying, pay attention, which means you miss everything anyway. People think about ADHD, I think for the most part, they do picture people who can't sit still, who are jumping all over the place. But usually, especially in women and girls, right? So our hyperactivity is in here. So we're the one that, and you know, if you watch enough of my videos, this is so funny. If you watch enough of my videos, you'll notice that I will start speaking and then interrupt myself as if I've already finished the first thought and moved on to the second thought. But in my head, they are complete closure things. And I don't notice it until I go back and start editing. And also another thing is, if you notice when I record videos, I might record 45 minutes. After I edit out a lot of the unnecessary and things like that, what ends up happening is I can pull 1 to 2 other extra videos out of one video because I go off on all of these little things. And again, it's not done on purpose. I write notes, but that doesn't keep my mind from learning how your brain works makes life so much easier. And you know, if I could compare it to something, it would be like if you're a person who has naturally curly hair and you've spent your whole life trying to get your hair to do all of these things, you know, you're trying to straighten it, you want it to lay flat, you don't want it to frizz it, this, that, and the other. But then you find out that the reason why your hair frizzes up is because if you're naturally curly, and this is, again, see, as an aside, which I'm going to try not to take too much time because then it'll be a whole other video. But when your hair is naturally curly, it likes to be with other curls. That's why your curls tend to be, you know, clustered together. So when you brush it or try to, I don't know, pull it straight back, you're causing all of these naturally, what's that word? Naturally, what's that word? Clustered, yeah. Naturally clustered hairs to go wonky. And that's when you end up with frizz. So when you realize that and you allow your hair to do what it's been trying to do ever since it came out of your scalp, life is so much easier. I'm just saying, if you stop trying to get something to do what it's not designed to do and you allow it to do what it's supposed to do, life is a whole lot easier. Learning what I'm learning about myself as far as my neurodivergency. Okay. Copyright Jackie. I don't know. I don't know. But just know that if there's somebody in your life that is that is louder than the rest of the group, that is constantly hyperfixating when you look at your person, right, and they can spend hours and hours and hours and hours on something, but yet we can hyperfixate in a way that's good. It can be bad too, but it can be good. It's not being lazy. It's not, there's just so many facets that fall into the ADHD umbrella or under that umbrella. Again, another YouTuber that she was saying about her son has ADHD. And she said, I think I might have had it when I was younger. And, you know, in my living room, between you and me, all I was thinking was, one, you don't outgrow ADHD. And she said, you know, when she'd see her son and she's like, I used to do stuff like that, or just when watching her speak now, and I'm like, yeah. But again, I'm not trying to go around labeling people because, you know, some people don't want to know, or some people, like, I'll say this, if one of your children has ADHD, more than likely it came from a parent because it is genetic. Now, here's my medical disclaimer right across the screen. I am not a medical professional. I don't even know medical professionals. You know what I mean? These are things that I have learned since, you know, doing research about ADHD. And see, I was trying not to go off on a little bit of a tangent about anything, and yet there I did. So it is the middle of September. Oh, the across the pond shawl knit along 2022 is almost over. It ends at the end of this month. I have entered 5, let's see, it was July, August, September, that one. I think I have 7 shawls that I've entered. So, okay. And then there's the first fall Mal 2022, which ends on the 21st of September. And I've already entered some projects for that. And another one just started. Okay, let me just say that even though, you know, I went this whole thing about crocheting being antisocial, or we are crocheters unite separately. and I think what I've just figured this out, that, well, not just figured this out, but I'm just going to say this, that things that that I have to accept, since, you know, I'm the one that's knowing that there might not be that great make-along that all crocheters just clamor for. I guess it just means that we have an individuality and I don't know, we just have an individuality that we're okay with. And I think I'm okay with us being okay with. Okay. So with that, the new make-along that I'm a part of is the Falling Leaves Sock Cowl 2022. It's being hosted by Earth Tones Girl. She's a knitter. But the crochet, the make-along is for knit or crochet socks, and all you have to do is make them in fall colors. So this is my entry. Okay, I just started these this morning with this yarn. The black up here, the contrast, is Peyton's Croy. These deep stash dive, and this yarn is one of 2 skeins that I got in the Mary Maxim mystery sock bag. And I know it's not really screaming fall now that I'm looking at it, but what had happened was I was hyper fixated on starting socks, so I just whipped this up really quick. I do have some colors that are more fallish, and the more I look at this, the more I'm thinking I'll probably do the other socks instead. I don't know. I'm looking at them, and I was real secure in my color choice, and now I'm thinking that's just not fall enough. So anyway, that's just one little thing that Jackie has to worry about. All right, what are your fall plans? What kind of projects do you plan to work on in the next 2 months? Like, garment wise, like, are you a sweater crocheter? Do you do scarves? Do you do cowls? I'm telling you, cowls are kind of my jam right now. I don't look at the calendar ahead of time, so I don't know what October's colors are going to look like, but I'm trying to decide if I want to. I keep doing this. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep making shawls till the end of the year. I'm already 9 months in, so I feel like I ain't got nothing to lose. So, I could. But then I'm like, oh, but a cowl. But then I'm like, because I could do both. See, because then I'm stacking. I'm setting myself up for failure. But let me just say, with that being said, in looking at these shawls that need love, I have added so many to I've added them to my library on Ravelry. Not my queue. Not my queue. Oh, yeah. So I told you I told you that I had been binge watching Crochet Luna. Girlfriend loves her some shawls, okay? And I'm like way back in 2017 with her right now, and she had talked about this shawl called the Blurre. And the Blurre is like the crocheted version of the Find Your Fade knit shawl pattern by Andrea Mowry. So I bought the Blurre pattern. It's so beautiful. And it gives me life. It gives me so many yummy sensations, and I just don't know what to do with myself, because I want to make it, but I don't want to make it what I'd like to be able to do. And I haven't really read through the pattern, which I really should, but I have not read through the pattern. I'm fairly certain it's all fingering weight yarn. So I'll be able to use, I think I can use some of my scraps from the previous shawls that I've done this year, which is cool. And if I could make it, you know what, I don't even know, because I can't even remember like what kind of yarn it requires or anything. I'm pretty sure it's fingering weight, but that would just be like, I'm just so excited to do that pattern. And I'm trying not to get myself too worked up, because if I look at it, and hyper focusing, if I look at it, all I'm gonna do is think about it, and then I won't be able to do anything else until I start it. And then because I'll be in such a hurry sort of to start it, I won't do it well, and then I'll throw it over there or over there, and it'll stay there for a while, and then I'll be mad because I really, really, really want that pattern to be it. So to sum up, I now own the Blurre pattern, and I have added many, many patterns to my favorites. No, to my library. Oh, my library and my favorites. I'm currently working on a sweater. It is, it's actually quite, I mean, the body construction of it is quite simple. It's just half double crochets, but I guess the feature part of it is the sleeves. The sleeves look almost like snowflakes, and it's really, really cool. I've just gotten up to the sleeves. So the front, I mean, the body of the sweater is already done. The last thing you do is the sleeves. And it's, what's neat is when you finish the front and back part, you do applied ribbing. I've never done that before. It always looked like it would either not make any sense, look completely ridiculous, or other. But I'm like addicted to this. I just want to walk around and just crochet applied ribbing to everything now. It's funny, again, with testing, you get a glimpse of design, plus what goes into making sure that a pattern makes sense to, you know, multiples of people. The Ellsworth shawlette that I tested, her pattern was the best pattern I've ever seen. The way it was written, because you know when you're in a pattern and it says, okay, repeat rows 9 to 17 5 times or something. Well, what she did was she has inside of the pattern. Okay, hopefully I'm not giving anything away. But it's the most ADHD friendly hack ever. So, you know, repeat rows 9 to, did I say 17? Okay. So then when you get to so you've done the first 9 through 17. And then when it's time to do the second one, she actually has created a small little chart that has the number 9 through 17. So you can cross off each, you know, every time you do that row, and then the second set, and then there's 9, 10, 11. 12. I'm telling you, when I saw it, I'm like screaming at her. I'm like, this is the best. This, ooh, if more patterns could be written that way, oh my gosh, y'all just, and again, if that's not a big deal to you, kudos to you, really. I think that's amazing. But when I saw that, I cried. It meant so much to me, because little things like that throw me off so easily, because, and it's not, again, it's not a matter of not being able to understand it. Here's what happens. I overthink it, not on purpose, but I'm like, okay, she's saying repeat 9 through 17. Does that mean that I didn't have a chance to go? Does that mean, because she had the numbers right there for me. I'm telling you. And then, of course, you know, the very next pattern I get, it's nothing like that. It's like, take 2, multiply by 7, add 4, jump up, calculate how high you jump, subtract 2, and then repeat from this star down to the semicolon. And anyway, the pattern, the sweater that I'm working on is so cute, and I'm having some trouble deciphering, but she made a video. I can deal with the video. I'm excited about it, because again, I've done almost all of it, just the sleeves. And to complete the test, I only have to make 1 sleeve. Me and my Gordon Gartrell sweater, we're gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. The next pattern is a shawl, and I think that's gonna be the last one that I do for this year, because right now I want to make sweaters. I have to pick up my why can't I remember? Folklore cardigan. I feel like I just want to be a little free right now, and moving into the winter. I just want to be a little free. That's all. And I'm saying this now, and I know it's going to be recorded for posterity, but whatever I say, what's said in the podcast stays in the podcast, okay? I'm saying. So if you see me with 4 new test patterns next week, I keep calling them test patterns, and I know that's not right, because all I can see is, if you see me with 4 new pattern tests, there we go, then so be it. I mean, we're just amongst friends here, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me show you what I have. Okay. So this is what I've built so far. And again, we still have the 1 texture row. And I think I'm going to do another texture row down here. I'm kind of liking it. That's funny, the way the brain just does whatever it does. I think that is all. Let's see. If you like this video, please like this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're working on, what you're thinking. If you're on Ravelry, hop over and join the GlamFam group. That would be neat. Let me know. I don't know. Just let me know something. If you feel so inclined, please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to rock that notification bell. Until next time, I've been Jackie.